So we're going to get ready to bring in our guest today. Check and see if we're ready.
Bro.
Mr. Luke, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you guys hear me and see me okay?
Yes,
Loud and clear.
loud and
Crystal.
clear.
Awesome.
Loud and clear. How are you?
I'm
Welcome
doing
to the
awesome.
podcast.
How are you guys?
I'm great. I'm Janny Schmanny, and this is my co-host,
Fred going legit.
Fred Going Legit.
And the answer to
Danny
your
and
question,
Fred.
bro, we just figure out day by day. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Are you guys in New Orleans?
No, we're in New Jersey.
Man, we
okay.
Jersey, man.
Yes, we're here in the zone
Yeah,
of the Comfort Level Podcast.
in the Garden State.
Very nice.
Out there near Atlantic City.
I went to Atlantic City 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
I was a wrestling fan, and I wanted to go to the site of WrestleMania 4 and 5. So I found
my
myself in
goodness.
Atlantic City one Saturday night at about 11 p.m. It was quite something.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Wish we would have had talked to you then. We could have met you down there.
Yeah,
Sure.
one of
It's
my
so great.
cousins love wrestling, man. I used to love wrestling.
I
too.
used to like it.
My client,
Cool.
Bob,
I
loves
still love
too.
wrestling.
Goodness.
So the world, the audience, they don't know. Mr. Howard is here from Toronto, Canada.
You got it. I used to think
Yeah.
Toronto was the capital of Canada. I'm from London, England originally. And most people outside of North America think Toronto's the capital. It's not. It's another place called Ottawa. But Toronto should be the capital. It's where they film a lot of movies now.
Wrestling taught us high school in Toronto.
Wow.
Oh, really?
A lot of movies being filmed there, huh?
Yeah.
Are you in any?
None that I could talk about.
Oh, okay.
None that have been released.
So earlier we had told the audience that you had what you call leuconosis.
Yeah, I gave you a shout out earlier. I said Hypnosis.
Awesome.
Leuconosis.
That's a good
That's
tag,
how
bro.
you say it. Yeah, it's very nice. So you help people reach their goals, overcome fears. You're like a healing source.
You help people get their mind right.
Sunday, can you feel the healing hand reaching across from Toronto to New Jersey? Feel it healing you.
I need to feel that
You
hand.
need it.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I use this
Hold
thing.
on, guys, in the comments. I got to make it bigger so I can seal.
Yeah, I use this thing called hypnosis along with other tools to help people who are stuck, whether they're addicted to alcohol, sugar, sex, porn, if they've got too much trauma that's holding them back, if they're anxious, if they're being crushed by depression, if they've got chronic pain inside their body, or if they want to release weight, they come to me and I help them help themselves, eliminate those blocks, get rid of those barriers, and get on the other side so they can start enjoying life more and have more happiness and love and success and all that good stuff.
That's right.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow.
So you're a shaman.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, Fred. If I say shaman to most people, right, it scares them off. So I call myself a hypnotist, and I've got about 47 certifications that say I'm a hypnotist. But in reality, it's all energy. And in reality, I would be basically a shaman. I just find what works, whether that be from the local healer, whether that be from the counselor, whether that be from the professional wrestler, believe it or not. I find what works from different people and I steal it. I mean, I model it. I take it, I put my own unique spin on it, and I use it when I'm working with people. Because I realized a long time ago, if you're in the business of healing, in the business of change, hypnosis, then you've got to be in the business of show business. And what I mean by that is oftentimes when people come to see me and they've had this deliberating problem like anxiety that's been ruining their life for so long, they get distracted really easily. They get really distracted by this thing called anxiety. So when I work with them, I need to be the shiniest object in the room, and I need to capture their imagination and lead their imagination away from this thing called anxiety or whatever the problem was, into me being the delivery vehicle, if you will, for them to be able to get the kind of result that they need. So if you're in healing, in therapy, then you've got to be in show business, and part of show business is entertainment. I need to be bigger than my client's problems, but I also need to be entertaining. You might think, oh, I'm being anxious. I'm not entertained when I'm anxious. I'm not entertained when I'm depressed. I'm not entertained when I've got that pain in my shoulder. It's a different kind of pain. It's a different kind of entertainment. It's like, my computer that I've got right now, it doesn't have a lot of RAM. It doesn't have a lot of memory. It doesn't have a lot of power. Maybe it has 100 gigabytes. Let's say her mind has 1,000 gigabytes. If I'm working with a client and 997 of those gigabytes are on anxiety, it's going to be pretty hard for me with 3% to be able to shift. But if I can start to get them to focus 100, 200, 500, 700, 800, 900, maybe 1,000% or gigabytes RAM, if you will, to use the right terminology, in their mind, then it becomes a lot easier and a lot more forgiving to be able to get them to have shifts in their life.
Yes.
Wow.
You're curing depression.
Wow.
Well, you know what? I'm not allowed to say I cure anything technically, but I work with people and I give them some tools, and if they're smart enough to use it, they generally get a huge amount of success in their life. And I like to say I'm kind of like a bit like a trainer, in as much as you could have the best personal trainer in the world, but if you want to lose weight, the trainer can't lift the weights for you. He can't do the cardio for you. He can't follow the keto diet for you. He'll get in shape, but you ain't. You have to interact. You have to follow the diet, the nutrition, the lifting weights. It's the same when I do change work with it. It's a lot of times people think hypnosis is the pendulum. If I had a pendulum right now and I'm just boring you into hypnosis.
Not me. I thought maybe you might use that eyebrow.
I get people to focus on the eyebrow, really focus on it, so everything else gets tuned out, so I get all the attention, and then can put them in charge.
I love it.
But a lot of the hypnosis I do, well, all of it, to be honest, is not passive at all. It's very interactive, meaning my clients are speaking, or their unconscious, their subconscious mind is speaking, is communicating with me. The person isn't just sitting here thinking, oh, yeah, this is really nice. I don't know if I'm hypnotized or not, but Luke is saying lots of nice things. Now, they don't have a second to think these things because they're engaging through the whole process. And what I found is if I'm bringing to the session more energy than my client, if I'm doing more of the lifting in the session I'm doing with the client, this is not good for them. If I'm sweating, metaphorically, more than my client, it means I've invested in their change more than they are. So they need to do the lifting. They need to do the metaphorical sweating. I'm just there to guide them to do it, but they have to work. They have to work hard,
They do.
but it's very rapid, meaning they can start to get shifts in as soon as a session. But in that session is really, really intense. But as long as they come, I always bring my bat. As long as my clients bring the bat and the ball, we're off to the races. But if I just bring my bat and my clients don't bring the bat, then I can't really play baseball on my own.
Right.
Yeah.
You need a team.
Wow. Ew, that's really just.
So how long you been doing this, bro?
I have been doing it over half my life. I started when I was 17. I am 44, and I don't look it, right? I look like I'm in my 30s. In a couple of months. So 20. This will be my 25th year, I think. So since I was 17.
All right, you've been doing it for a minute. Still looking young, bro. Listen.
Thank you, man.
So what I want to know is the people that you helped out, like, what have they said and how have you improved their situation? Because some people just can't think it through on their own. I don't get it.
Yeah, it goes like this, right? It's oftentimes there's only so far we can heal ourselves about getting some help. I mean, you can look at some of the best athletes in the world. Like if you look at Mike Tyson, Mike Tyson had a lot of problems, but when he was young, I don't know, he was the best fighter in the world. This guy was a monster. He was killing people, right? And not a lot of people realize, but his trainer, a guy called Customado, took Mike Tyson to a hypnotist. So Mike Tyson was doing, they call them burners, and basically it's illegal boxing, and you had to be at least 16 or 18. Mike was so big when he was 12 or 13, He'd be going to these burners, these illegal club-to-club boxing matches, and he was knocking out guys that were 18, 19, 20. And one of the things was Mike Tyson was taken to a hypnotist consistently when he was younger. This hypnotist's number one's job was to say, you're the baddest MNFer in the whole wide world. You're going to be the youngest heavyweight champion of the world. And every night before Mike Tyson went to sleep, his trainer, Customado, would do some hypnosis with Mike Tyson as well. So yeah, Mike had a lot of problems when he got older, but as far as an athlete and being, I think, still maybe the youngest heavyweight champion of all time, he was killing people. And Tiger Woods is another example, right? Tiger Woods is caddy from about the age, I want to say, of 10 up until about 5 or 10 years ago. His caddy was also a hypnotist. So he was putting on these positive suggestions in his mind all the time, especially when he was in a very adaptive stage, when he was really, really young. And of course, he became the greatest golfer of all time. And not a lot of people realize, but just about when Tiger Woods fired his caddy was at the same time he divorced his wife, started to get DUIs, and was all over the news for having sex with this porn star and this one, all around the same time. But I haven't forgot your question. How have I helped people? Well, rather than me just say it, and I'll say it because people are on the show now, but I've got all these testimonials, YouTube videos, and Google reviews, so you can verify this. But typically, I'm not your normal type of person. And what I mean by that is typically when someone comes to see me, whatever their problem is, they've done the usual route, the traditional route, the route that they're told to do to heal themselves. That might be go to your doctor, have some medication, go see a counselor, go and see a psychotherapist, go and see a psychiatrist, God forbid. None of that worked. They're still effed up, in their own words, and then they come to me. So by this stage, they're quite disenfranchised because they've tried so many things and they are still stuck. So they think that a hypnotist is going to be like everyone else. Oh, he's just going to say nice things to me. He's going to stroke me. I don't stroke people, but even now I'm over Zoom, so I couldn't anyway. But my job is not nice to people. My job is to kind of rapidly cause a state change in their world. So when they see me, it's easier now. Well, it's harder now, I should say, because people see videos of me. There's like thousands of them out there. But in the old days, people didn't see the beard, didn't see the tattoos, didn't hear the accent. So they were used to like someone showing up in a suit and tie and looking very professional. But this professional didn't work for them before. So they would see me like, holy S word, this guy's got long hair, he's got a beard, he speaks really fast, he's got a lot of tattoos, he's different from these other stiffs that I've seen. Maybe this will work because he's different. So
I was going to say, I would trust him a little bit more.
Yeah, I use that because S word. I'm deliberately not swearing because I have a potty mouth. Am I allowed to use explicits on your show?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, man.
All right. Cool.
Be natural, bro.
This is the comfort level. Be comfortable.
Yeah. The reason I ask, I've got a potty mouth, and I would do all these interviews back in the day, and they were great. And the host would message me back, say, Luke, this is one of the best interviews we ever did. But they would never publish it. Then I would found out months later, it was, Luke, there was too many F-bombs in it. There was too many S-bombs in it, and we just couldn't edit it. So we didn't. So now I ask, but thank you for letting me know. See, if people see me and then they don't have a box to put me in, oh my God, they know that I'm there to help them, but I'm not, tell me your story. Tell me why you're messed up. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear about this, that, and the other. It's not that I'm not empathetic. I am, but I'm not sympathetic. Sympathetic is keeping my client stuck. Oh my God, yeah, I can see why you're a victim. Oh yeah, the world is a terrible place.
Oh no.
It's terrible. Oh,
that's validating their victimization.
Yeah. Oh, God, it's cursed you. Oh, you're such a victim. I don't play that game. Right. I'm in the empowerment business. It's like, all right, forget all that stuff. Let's work on you today. I don't want to hear about how you're messed up or broken. This is where you are. Where do you want to be when we're done? A lot of more clients can tell me what they don't want at the beginning. They can't tell me what they do want. So I'll say to my client, oh, Luke, I'm addicted to cocaine and I've lost my car, lost my wife, lost my house. Oh, God, I'm losing all this money. I've lost an arm. What do you want? Well, Luke, like I said, I've lost my arm, I've lost my wife, I've lost my car. What do you want?
What do you
Well,
want?
Luke, like I said, I've lost my. What do you want? And they stop. There's silence. And they're looking all the quadrants of their eyes and their head. And they come back about 30 seconds later. It's like no one ever asked them. They never thought about what they want. They knew what they didn't want. Well, Luke, I just want to be free. Luke, I just want to be happy. Luke, I just want to be comfortable in my skin.
What does that mean?
That's another question because it's a big, lofty thing, right? But oftentimes, if I say, well, you know, people ask, Luke, what do you want? Well, I don't want COVID. I don't want AIDS. I don't want an STD. I don't want my girlfriend to cheat on me. I don't want to lose my house. That doesn't tell you what I want. It just tells you about all the limitations. So if I keep focusing on what I don't want, I get more of it. When I get people to start to focus on what they do want, well, I want to be successful. Great. What's success to you? Success to one person could be waking up, finding $1 as they're walking to work. For another person, it might be getting that dream house. For another person, it might be being a great father, a great mother. But yeah, we have to dig into it because happiness is not the same for everyone. For this one over here, happiness is I wake up every morning and I've got a smile on my face. For this one, seeing my kids succeed at school makes me happy. For this one, if I can bench press 200 pounds, I'll be happy. Everyone's got like a computer. We've all got our own coding or source code inside. So happiness for you and me is going to be 3 different answers. Yep. So it's about really focusing on what I do. On not a script and not like, success and me thinking I know what success is for my client. It's about being bespoke. All the work I do is for the person in front of me. So a lot of hypnotists, client comes in, they've got a problem. Let's say their problem is they're addicted to alcohol. So the hypnotist goes to his book and he goes to A for problems and he goes for alcohol addiction. And he's like, well, here's the script. So the client's in front, puts the script book up, and now he just reads from the book like a story to try and help his client no longer be addicted. As soon as you do that, you've lost this. I have a big belief in doing this for 25 years that my clients' unconscious, subconscious, their monkey mind, if you will, is going to show me and show them everything we need to do in our work together. That if my head is locked in a book, reading a script, I'm missing that human.
Yeah.
In front of me. And a lot of hypnotists go, whoa, I'm going to do this with my client in session 1 and this. I have no idea what I'm going to do with my client when they come in. I know that they're here and we're going to end up over here. And I've been doing it a long time. I have no idea how we're going to get there. A lot of people think success is a straight line. Usually success is like this.
Yeah.
Go back to the start. It's messy, it's ugly, it's horrible. And then you end up
all over the place.
Yeah. So my sessions, if you join my sessions halfway in and you're a hypnotist or you have any idea of what I'm doing, you're like, what the hell is going on here? It's all over. This is crazy. What's he talking about? He's going off in tangents. He's not finishing stories. He's speaking too fast. Where's the pendulum? But at the end of the work together, the client is like, now I get it. Not here, because most people I work with are smart enough to get it here. But get it here.
Right, exactly.
In their body, in their spirit, whatever that is to them. But really know it. Because knowing it here is one thing. Well, I know why I messed up because my parents were really horrible. They know it. But knowing it here in your body is completely different, right? It's like the difference between masturbation versus real lovemaking here, if you will. It's about them embodying it and getting in touch with it.
Exactly. Wow.
That works.
Yeah. So, because I actually know a few people, that got the book in front of them.
And you're just reading the words.
Yeah, and a lots of times, like, they'll push some of those things on you. And you actually can know that that's not coming from here. It's coming from the book.
Yeah, it's not coming from the gut.
Yeah. And I'm not saying, that I can't sympathize with alcoholic or
Empathize.
somebody sympathize, that it just doesn't feel good to me when I get it.
And a lot of times I'll say to my clients, because they want to be heard. We all want to be heard. We all want to be listened. And for some clients, and I have to really work with them, some people, straight off the bat, because they're like, well, you don't, Luke, you've never drank. Well, I've drank 5 times in my life before the age of 20, and I never drank again. Well, Luke, you're not an alcoholic. How do you know how to help me? Oh, well, Luke, you've never had chronic back pain. How do you know to help me? Well, Luke, you have never been raped. How do you know how to help me? To which I say, if you have cancer and you go to a surgeon who cuts that cancer out of you, does that surgeon have to have experienced cancer in his own body in order to help you?
Right.
Great
Yes.
therapists need to have been.
That's why I never understood.
Yeah.
I never understood why the drug counselors had to have been drug addicts before. I've never understood that.
Yeah, I'm like,
Why can't they slip and just like I would? You know what I mean?
Some people
Fall off the wagon just the same way anybody else would.
And some people just can't take preventative guidance. That's all. Preventative guidance. I just gave it.
That's a big cup.
I just had a workout. I have to get my protein in.
Oh, that's the blender. Oh.
I have that 1 hour to get that protein into my muscles after the workout, or I'm gonna get.
Oh, okay.
Health is wealth, bro.
Exactly.
Number one.
I always say this to people, right? Like, you could lose money, gain money, right? You could lose a job, gain a job. You could lose a wife, gain a wife, right? Everything you can lose, you can get back. But the one thing you can't get back is time. Even if you're Elon Musk, even if you're Bill Gates, even if you're the guy who runs Amazon, whose name escapes me right now, you've got all the billions in the world, but they cannot buy time. Time comes, time goes. Doesn't matter how successful you are. So I'm a big believer in, like, if my clients have got this problem, like, well, Luke, before I work with you, I need to think about if this is the right thing for me. I'm like, well, how long have you had this problem? 30 years. How long have you been thinking about getting help? 29 years. So what do you need to think about? You've been thinking about it for 29 years, overcoming it and getting some help. So by allowing you to play the game of procrastination, which is just anxiety in disguise, by the way, and putting another day, another week, another month, another year before you get help, that doesn't help you at all. So I always tell I do a screening call before I ever take someone on as a client. The screening call is free. It's an hour. It's an opportunity for me to find out what my client's problem is, what they expect from me, tell them a little bit about how I work. But I always say to them at the end of the call, we're either going to work together or we're not. And if we work together, that's great. And if you say no or I say no, no hard feelings, we part ways as friends. I'm okay with yes, we work together. I'm equally okay with no, we won't work together. But what I don't do, and I tell this in the first 2 minutes of the call, is I don't do maybes. Oh, well, Luke, yeah, I'm the kind of person who needs to think a long time before I get help. Well, no. If I'm
That's part of your problem.
Part of the problem. If I'm in the water drowning with you, I can't pull you to shore. And I'm like, no. And I say to my cousin, even by not making a decision, yes or no, because in some people's brain, they think that cuts them off. Well, because I've said yes, it cuts me off from anything else. I tell my potential clients, by failure to make a decision, yes, we're going to work together. You're going to get the help you want. Or no, we're not going to work together. We part ways as friends. If you don't make a decision, you've made a decision that we're not going to work together. Because I need people that are ready. They're like, you know what? I'm done. I need to get some help. I need to get some help now. Let's rock and roll, Luke. If you need another hour to think about it after our screening call, this isn't for you. You're not ready to change.
Wow.
Not ready to grow.
That's it.
Not ready to heal. And then that's fine, because some people just ain't ready,
Or maybe they can find that it's Well, absolutely. If they find out it's too much for them, then they're not ready.
We got to remember that people like us are the exceptions to the rule. And that's just the way it is. That's it. Drop the mic.
It's just I
we
don't
need to
know.
learn
Well,
from you, bro.
we kind of use this podcast to bring people on such as yourself that. Well, I have to say you have to enjoy it if that's the work that you do. That enjoy helping other people, and
from jumping off the cliff.
Yeah, well, sometimes when we want to know what you do that keeps you from jumping off the cliff.
What I do is I get up every morning, and at 11 a.m. I go to my mixed martial arts gym, and I get beaten up and choked out every morning about 10 times before 12 noon. So I come out feeling very humbled. Any angst that I've got, I've left it on the mat with people. I've got out of my comfort zone, because every morning before 12 noon hits, I've probably had more fights than most people ever will in their life.
Bro, I was waiting for you to come up with the discomfort.
Discomfort, yeah.
That's the key.
Yeah, and one of the things I do is jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So
I want to get into jiu-jitsu, bro.
Beautiful, man. Every man should do jiu-jitsu. It doesn't matter if he wants to fight. It doesn't matter if he wants to compete. Just because it gets you in your body. And jiu-jitsu is, yes, it's about fighting, but really, it's about chest. It's human chest. This guy has moved a millimeter this way. I felt his body shift. I now can land in this rear naked choke. Oh, this guy is in a mount position, but his arm's there. Oh, I can feel that micro movement in his shoulder. That means he's trying to get my arm and go for a arm lock. If he gets that on me, I'm tapping out and I'm done. This is all going on in real time. It's
right.
So I've got to just shift my body this way, raise my hips. It becomes human chest, and it's like it really starts to help you problem solve in other areas of life. It's like, I'm uncomfortable. There's a 250-pound guy on top of me right now, and he's friggin' smothering me, and I don't like it, and it's really hard for me to breathe, and I feel really uncomfortable, and I'm about to have a panic attack. Do I want to be a bitch and tap out, even though he's not choking me out? I'm just uncomfortable. Or do I want to find a way to turn my head so I get a little bit more air into my body? Can I just wait for 5 or 10 seconds before I tap out to toughen up and to use this? But yeah, everyone, not just every man, every woman, like women in our class as well. Jiu-jitsu is beautiful because you can go hard, but you don't end up coming out concussed, knocked out, or with broken bones. You just come out and like you might ache like hell for a little bit, but you can go quite hard and be totally healthy, be totally safe, and not have any broken bones or anything like that, or concussions, like I said.
Right.
Yeah. We were sitting here in the natural light and it started getting dark.
I could fade away. Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, so I just put on the lights. I think that
pitch black for me.
Well, I don't know any other people that do hypnotherapy, but I want to give you guys what happened? A shout out because I'm sorry about that. I think it's great. You know what I mean? That somebody other than the norm, I'm not saying that it's not normal, but the normal therapists, the centers, all the places that you go looking for help, and
this is the way.
There's not people in there that can help you, even like, well, the way we put in the business, I'm not going to say the clients, the patients, I'm going to say the network.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the network that you're dealing with, the people that you're meeting in these meetings, they have the same problems or even more. And I don't think that you can really get too much help from that. Because, like you said, time, you can't get it back. And most of the time, and my experience of talking to someone that's telling me about these AA and NA meetings, all they talk about is the past and the reason why. And it's all blamed on the past.
If I'm on a Facebook forum for NA or A, listen, if someone's in pain and they're suffering and they use a technique and it isn't hypnosis and it gets them out of their pain and they have an incredible life, more power to them.
More power to them, yes.
I'm not attached to hypnosis. I'm attached to freedom for people. However, in my experience, a lot of people on forums like Facebook for NA, Narcotics Anonymous, AA, they're very dogmatic in it, and they believe AA is the only way. If you're not following AA, then you can't be part of our club. It's the only way.
Yes.
If you're using anything else, shame on you.
Mm-hmm.
But the stats show us that NA and AA have about a 97% foul rate. So that means of every 100 people that go to NA or AA, 97 of them foul and continue to do their drink or their drug of choice. Now, I don't know about you, but if I go to Vegas and I take my life earnings, my life savings, and I put them on the crap table, and there's a 97% likelihood I'm going to foul and lose everything, I'm probably not going to play that particular game because the odds are way out of my favor.
Right.
Well, I'll say NA for me was a way to get out of my probation. If you want to go to the drug program, okay, we'll go to NA meetings. Yeah, sign up for me. All right. Hey, man, do what you got to do.
Absolutely, yeah. No, that makes sense.
So
yeah, it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense, Fred. I don't know, but I think
in the future, bro.
Just like you said. It's like you said, if you're getting something out of it, then it's different. But
it's kind of like AA and NA is a bit like this. It's a bit like you go to prison for a misdemeanor. Maybe you stole a little bit of money. Maybe you shoplifted some potato chips or an ornament, right? And now you go to a high maximum prison where there's murderers, gangbangers, rapists, just really badass people. So you've made a mistake. You've done a very, very low level crime. And now for the next few years, you're around the hardest of the hardened criminals. And this is supposed to somehow make you come out and be reformed. Every day you're around.
No, you're going to learn from them.
Of course.
And to survive, you go in there. So that's why most people come out and they reoffend because they've been around an environment where people have done generally far worse things than them, their peers. And there's a quote that says, your success level is attributed to the top 5 people you hang around with. So if you look at your top 5 friends or family members and you take a base level of their earnings, that's pretty much where you're going to be. So if you hang around with losers, the odds are you're going to be a loser.
Yeah, hang around with losers.
You hang around with
losers.
You hang around with alcoholics who are bitching and complaining about being stuck, you're probably going to stay that way. Here's how I would do AA. Here's how I would do NA. We get a whole bunch of people that have been off of their drug or alcohol, whatever it is, for 5 years, and they're happy. They haven't relapsed. They have been 5 years clean. They don't even think about it anymore.
Okay.
It's done, and they're living a beautiful life. Then someone who's got a drug or alcohol problem comes in, and there's all these people that have overcome it. They've overcome it not just for a day, for 5 years, and they're doing really well. I want to be on that group. That's a successful group. Uh-oh, your camera is out. So I'm not sure if I'm the only person on your channel right now. But if I am, we're just waiting for the guys to get reconnected. But yeah, it's about being around a group of people that are going to be successful. If you hang out with losers, the odds are you're going to be a loser. If you hang out with people that are really angry, you're probably going to be angry by default. If you hang around with people who are addicted to drugs, the odds are you are probably going to be addicted to drugs. So you want to set the odds up in your favor and hang out with people that are where you want to be, whether that be sobriety, whether that be happiness, whether that be wealth, whether that be sex, whatever that is. You want to hang around with people that are where you want to be. And the folks are still not here. So I'm just going to assume that perhaps I'm the only person on this channel right now, so I'll keep talking. I don't have any comments, unfortunately, below, but if we are, as I believe we are, going out live on Facebook or YouTube or whatever the social media is, and there's a comment section below, even if I don't get to answer live today, I will revisit these pages and I will answer the comments below. If anyone's interested in the work that I do, the simplest way, the easiest way is you'll probably see at the bottom scrolling is my website, lukenosis.com. If you go there, you can watch a bunch of videos of works, of talks I've done, even my TED Talks there. You can go on my YouTube, you can go on my Facebook, you can go on my Twitter, Reddit, TikTok, whatever the social media platform is, just type in Lukenosis. That's Luke, like me, L-U-K-E. N-O-S-I-S, and you'll find a bunch of my videos, and there'll be a trail on how you can contact me if you do need some help. Again, we're just waiting for the hosts to reconnect. Hopefully they'll be back soon. But yeah, I find that hypnosis is just a really powerful way to start to get change with people. And like I say, I've got many certificates in hypnosis. It's the thing that I most associate with, but I've accumulated a lot of skills from a lot of different healers, if you will, a lot of energy work and various forms of psychology and so forth. Here they are. Are you back?
Elbows down, my man.
I've been covering for you guys.
I didn't know that my laptop was unplugged the whole interview, and then it just went out.
And
Oh no!
The show must go.
I was saying like, yo, I hope he's still.
It's all right. I kept your audience entertained for a little bit.
That's what's up. Appreciate it, bro.
Yeah.
No worries.
That's
yes.
cool. Oh wow.
So let's
I
back
apologize.
to the basics we was talking about. So I want to ask you this, man. Kids, how do you help children? Like, the 9, 10, 11, 12, 13-year-olds, like those ones.
Let me share a story with you, right? When I was a mere pup in healing and hypnosis, shamanism, whatever you want to call what I do, let's say it was about 20 years ago or so forth, right? And just arrived in Canada, and this lady contacted me, and she was a naturopath, and she was going to refer clients to me. So we're just meeting like a joint venture thing. She wants to see what I do. I tell her, she tells me what I do, so I can refer people to her, kind of meet and greet. So we're together for about an hour, and it goes very well. She leaves. She goes to leave my office, and then she looks over her shoulder like this, and she goes, "Oh, Luke, one more thing," and then she shuffles back. I'm like, "What?" She goes, "Well, I don't know if you work with kids, but my kid's very happy. Little boys, I think he was 7 at the time. This was not his name, so we'll put him in a witness protection plan. So we disguise we keep his anonymity. Let's say his name was James.
Right.
My little boy James, very happy, really good kid, does great with school, good friends, great family life. Nothing physically wrong with him, but he pees the bed every night, and has been peeing the bed every night for about 5 years or so. We've gone to the doctor. We've done all the gamut of tests. They say there is nothing physically wrong with him. Do you think you can help my son?" Now, I got to be honest, up until this point, I thought what got me through a lot of having success with clients was just being a great performer, was being charismatic and being charming. I still got great results, but I'll be honest, I thought that hypnosis was a bit of a con game, to be honest. It doesn't mean that con didn't work, and it doesn't mean that con didn't get people success, but it was really hard for me in my logical brain to figure, how can just words somehow massage someone's brain to get change. But I would see time and time again success. She goes, do you think you can help my little kid? And I'd never worked with physical problems. And I'm like, she goes, have you ever worked with kids? I'm like, I've worked with a few. Do you think you can help my kids? And so I was put on the spot. I need a business, right? I love to help people. I was just starting out. And I said, listen, we'll call this lady Sarah. This wasn't her name. Listen, Sarah, I've got to be honest with you. I haven't worked with many kids, which is true. I don't think I'd worked with any, maybe one to that point. I cannot guarantee that your son will stop peeing the bed, but I will certainly do my best. She goes, Luke, thank you for being honest. I trust you. I'm going to send my boy to you. So I shit myself because I really wanted to help this little boy. And I wanted her to refer people to me. But I'm like, I get with adults and psychology and persuasion and stuff. But with a kid, it's completely different. If I say to an adult, close your eyes, typically they'll close their eyes. If I say to a kid to close their eyes, they'll do this. Adult, yeah, they'll probably sit down and relax. If I ask a kid to sit down and relax, they'll stand up, they'll run around the room. So what I would do with an adult typically wouldn't translate with a child. So I'm like, oh, what the heck am I really want to help this kid. I met the little boy, great kid. And I remembered something that one of my mentors said. And it was like, we have to do this stuff a little bit differently with young people, with children. Like, I won't see anyone younger than 5. I believe it's about 7. And it's like, you can't just tell them to do stuff because they won't do it. You kind of have to tell stories. But on some level, an unconscious level, that story, there's a resolution to their problem. Now, the person in the story might not have exactly the same problem as them consciously, but the unconscious is playing dot to dot and it's making generalizations. So I knew this little boy loved Ninja Turtles. I knew that he loved Transformers. I knew that he loved baseball. So I started to construct stories about Ninja Turtles, Transformers, and baseball gloves and the tightness of the glove. And his unconscious mind started to generalize that to tightening up the area below to stop him from peeing when he didn't need to go. So basically, I just talked shit telling stories for the first session. And at the end of the session, I'm like, we had 3 sessions. The session 1 at the end, I'm like, I feel like the biggest phony, the biggest fraud. I'm finally going to be found out for all of this because they're going to come back next week and nothing's going to change. I did my best, but how can anything
change? Never pissed the bed again.
Stories.
He never pissed the bed again.
Stories he can identify with because he was able. Stories that he can identify with because he was able to. He took what you said, and he grew. He's like, okay, boom. What?
So what happened then?
Well, how does that apply to me? I'm not going to piss. It's just, I don't know. That was genius.
So then. What would happen before I would do the session with him, but I would meet his mom or his dad at the beginning or the end of the session and just basically ask how he was doing. So second week comes and I'm dreading it. I'm having panic attacks. I'm very anxious. I'm like, his dad's going to come in and if his dad just says, Luke, he instead of peeing the bed 7 times last week, he peed the bed 6 times. I could hang my hat on that and see, it's working. That's great. I was just hoping if I could have a 1-day reduction, I wouldn't be found out. So his dad, and I'm shitting myself. His dad comes in. Oh, how's little James doing? And I'm best poker face on. He's like, oh yeah, he hasn't peed the bed once. Inside, I'm like, what?
You re-engineered his mind.
Re-engineered the mind. I love it. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. This is all bullshit. And then I became a believer because I realized this kid was an adult. He wasn't trying to impress me. He didn't know what I was doing. I couldn't just get him to close his eyes and speak softly. I had to do covert stuff, but I had to hijack his mind with stuff that he was naturally interested. Transformers, Ninja Turtles, baseball, and somehow conjure up made-up stories about tensing areas that he could translate to tensing the area down there to stop peeing, relieve anxiety. And then honestly, the next 2 sessions, we did 3 in total, was just us talking about drawing Transformers and Ninja Turtles. And as far as I know, he never peed the bed again. that made a believer of me, because I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm just really persuasive to this point. But then I'm like, no, this kid weren't falling into the trap of Luke being charming or charismatic or persuasive. Something real, because he didn't give a shit about any of that stuff.
Right.
Now, what he gave a shit about is his favorite characters, Transformers, Ninja Turtles. And if they
That's
don't piss in
right.
the bed, why should I piss in the bed? That's what moved him.
And learn how to use his powers.
Yeah.
So then, a few years later, I had another boy, and his mum wrote a lovely testimonial for me on Google. And this boy, basically, without getting too graphic, the boy had a circumcision. He was about 8 or 9 when he came to see me. About a year or so before he got circumcised. And he felt pain after the circumcision for a year or so after. He went back to the doctors. They're like, well, there's nothing wrong with him. He's healed. He should be okay. But this boy, the pain was so much that he would have 12 weeks off of school. He couldn't dry himself after a shower. He'd have to air dry. If anything touched that area, it caused pain.
Cause your dad's cut that skin off, but you should have did it long time ago.
Yeah.
It's psychological.
So I'm like, what an interesting problem.
Oh
right?
my God.
So this is about 5 years after the first young boy that I was telling you about. So this kid's about the same age, 8 or 9, maybe a little bit older. So we do the first session. And honestly, between session 1 and 2, not a lot changes. He's still at home. He's still, my gut belief is he's happy. He gets to be at home, homeschooling, doesn't need to go at school, doesn't really like going to school. He can be relaxed and watch his shows at home. But I was trying to find a way to kind of get in and help him, right? But there was so much pleasure that he was getting, my belief, staying at home.
This one, I don't know how he did it.
And then, so everything I'm throwing at him isn't working. Then I wear a lot of rings. I'm not wearing them today, but I wear a lot of rings, and I like superheroes. So one day we're talking, and he sees a ring that I've got, and I don't know if you guys follow the Marvel, the Avengers, but there's this one of the biggest movies of all time, Avengers Endgame. The villain Thanos, he has a gauntlet where he gets
Marvel guy, bro.
Diamonds. One controls time, one controls energies. There's 5 or 6 medallions that basically make him, Thanos, the biggest badass, most powerful.
You had an Infinity Gauntlet ring.
Yes, I had an Infinity Gauntlet ring.
I know about that, bro. I'm a nerd, man. I love Marvel.
The ring cost me $1 on eBay.
Oh,
shit. Wearing the ring, the kid looks at the ring. So I catch him looking at the ring. I'm like, do you know what that is? So he starts to tell me what the Infinity Ring is. And I'm like, oh, and it got to a point where I forgot to tell you, sorry. This got to such a point where he couldn't walk anymore. True story. He refused to walk. They had to take him around in a wheelchair. The pain went from his penis to his back. Wow. Nothing showed up, MRIs, fMRIs, but he stopped walking for 12 weeks and stayed at home. True story. So it got worse. So I've got him in there. He's at the opposite side of the room. I've got my ring on. I'm like, you know what? Let's just throw the playbook out of the window.
Oh, shit!
And go with some street smarts. And I'm picking up something here. Worst case is nothing changes. Best case is he shifts. I'm like, you know what this ring means, right? He's like, yeah, he's the most powerful superhero in the world. I'm like, yeah, whoever wears it has no pain, zero pain, controls every part of their body, and no one can bully them, pick on them. They're so smart, they're so strong. He's like, yeah, I know. I'm like, you probably would want a ring like this, wouldn't you? He's like, yeah. I said, would you like to touch this ring? He's like, yeah. I'm like, great. So stand up and come, and if you come here, you can touch it, you can wear it for the rest of our session. Remember, he hasn't walked in 12 weeks. I've got a $1 ring on. And he looks around. He does this. He stands up for a minute, collapses back on the chair. I can see it's a performance. And he gets up again, he gets halfway up, and he collapses again. I can see it's a performance. My whole life. Then finally he gets up and he starts to come to the opposite side of the room. He hasn't fallen down. He grabs the ring. And when you put that ring on, all that pain and discomfort will go away and you're going to really love school. He slides it on. Miraculously, the pain goes away from the lower back. And he walks back to the end of the room. I'm like, you know what? How about this? You know, when you wear that ring, you can no longer experience pain in, the penis, the back, whatever. You can no longer experience the pain anymore. So all you got to do is wear that ring. So you know what? Do you want that ring? He's like, yeah. I'm like, you can have that ring. However, you're going to go to school every day and you are going to walk every day and you are going to be pain-free and happy every day. And if you start to not go to school, if you start to sit in this wheelchair, your mum is going to tell me and she's going to give me the ring back and all the power comes back and you lose it all. All you have to do to keep the ring is be happy, go to school, keep walking, and be pain-free. That was it. I gave him a $1 ring. And you know what I did then? I went on eBay and I bought 20 $1 rings for kids that I was going to work with in the future.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Psychotherapists, doctors, pain specialists. We don't know what to do with your boy. He's a superhero fan. He's looking at my ring. Let me use that to help him heal himself, to give him the reason he needs to get out of the chair, to feel safe, to feel empowered, to feel that he's in control.
And sometimes it just takes a little ingenuity and common sense and just giving a damn. Wow.
Bro, so which one you got? Because I looked it up again and I just, for the first time I saw the black one.
It was the gold one. It was the gold one, and it has the.
Bro, they got the black drawing that just came out. I ain't never seen the black.
Oh, the black one. That's
they
more.
Got the black drawing out. You know, I'm on my. You know, I'm a straight Marvel dude to the death of me, right? So I'm sitting here looking it up, and the black drawing popped up because I already knew about it. The black drawing popped up, so yeah, they got the black one out. Just wanted to tell you that.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, that's what's up.
This has been great. It's been great. I wish we had more time to keep talking.
Are we running to the end?
Hey, yeah. Busy thing.
How can we get with you, bro? Outside of the
easiest way to get hold of me is go on to my website, lukegnosis.com. It should be on the screen.
That's a dope name too, bro. I'll tell you that's a dope name
got
too,
a double
bro.
time on the screen, man.
I got to brand myself, right? Instead of hypnosis, it's Lukegnosis. And basically you go there, you can watch sessions that I've done with other people, testimonials, my TED Talks on there. Alternatively, if you go on social media, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, all my videos are out there, all my work's there. You can see me actually working with people, talking, and get a feel for how I work. And then if you're interested, just book a screening call. It's on my website. You click the thing that says screening call, and we have a chat on the telephone. Yeah, there you go.
We got it right there. Sure. I know they can't say it that great, but lukegnosis.com. You guys, you see it on the bottom of the screen. Make sure you check him out. This is something I want to really say to our culture. Check it out, okay? Because we do a lot on mental health, and we talk about how we feel as though PTSD and things like that is all tied up into brain damage. Whether your brain has been altered by physical, but mostly our brain has been altered by mental things more than physical. And with programs and people like you, like we need different ways. You know what I mean? Just going to these hospitals and stuff like that. We're being covered up with pills and this, that, and the other thing, and we're not being healed. We're not being healed. And I know, my audience out here, any of you heard of, bedwetting and stuff like that. We used to whoop your ass.
Yeah, that was our traumatic upbringing. You get your ass whipped.
Yeah,
you
you'll get your ass whipped. And we never even thought that maybe you had a physical problem or a mental problem for bedwetting.
Luckily, I wasn't pissing.
We just thought that was the way.
Bed, so,
if you went over
not our house
2 years old and you're still wet in the bed, you haven't learned to get up and go to the bathroom. That's the only thing, So our culture really shuns away from getting help. And I just believe in therapy. Say to our culture, you got to do better. You know better, you do better. And that's why we bring people on our podcast like Luke Michael Howard.
Luke knows.
I know that quote, when you know better, you do better. Maya Angelou.
When you know better, you do better.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Real simple.
Yes,
Rest in peace, Maya Angelou.
All right. So, any shout outs, last words, leave us with some words of wisdom.
Yeah, all right. Here's a good one.
Or if you want to hypnotize me, I'm game because I have sciatica.
Oh,
yeah.
We can have a chat. We can have a chat off air of some stuff that might be able to help you with that. I work with a lot of chronic pain.
I sure will be.
But I will say this: the best. Everyone's got problems. Nobody's perfect, although my mum would say differently. But the best time to, whatever your problem is, mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, the best time to fix your problem would have been when it first arose. The second best time to fix your problem is right now. Because every minute, every day, every week, every month, every year, every decade that goes past, that problem gets deeper rooted into your mind and embodied. The best time to fix it was day one-ish. The next best time to fix it is now. There is no tomorrow. And it's just there is no tomorrow.
No,
there's no tomorrow.
Stop taking ownership of it.
Okay,
that's the first step.
No, I was just agreeing with him, saying he's right because it's been so long and it's just
trying to take over your life.
Like
it's trying to take over your life.
Well, I don't let it take over my life, but it's there. You know what I mean? I gotta give it the boot.
You got to do that decompression too. Decompression helps.
Okay, we got it. Luke Howard, guys. LukeNosis.com. Make sure you guys go on there because
thank you guys. It's been a pleasure.
Get your mind right. Appreciate that, bro.
Get your mind right. Appreciate you.
Y'all get your mind right. Holla at Luke.
Holla at Luke.
Thank you so much for having me on your show.
You.
All right, bro. Thanks for coming on, man. It was a pleasure to have you, bro.
Thank you.
Peace out.